You got a whole generation of men coming up who are not gonna get married. You have a whole generation of men who see this stuff online every single day and who know women are not worth marrying anymore. Who know a woman's just gonna betray me, a woman's just gonna leave me when she feels like it. She's gonna lie to me. You women are shooting yourselves in the freaking foot if you honestly think that being single and not married does you any more benefit than it does to a man. You'll see. You will literally see, because the only women who will be getting married are a very small percentage of actual high-value women, and the rest of y'all are gonna be single and miserable old cat ladies. You have to stop thinking so entitled. You have to start understanding that men are humans too. And as long as you don't treat men with respect, they're not gonna do anything for you. They're not gonna wanna do anything for you, and that includes marry you.
I'm not ready to declare victory yet, but if the culture war had a scoreboard, you would see that common sense is gaining momentum and feminism is going down. DEI is imploding, the victimhood narrative has lost its juice, and when you ask young women whether or not they are feminists, increasingly you get this answer.
Are you a feminist? Kind of. The feminists nowadays do a little bit too much, so they kind of overuse the word. Like, talk a little bit about a woman, it's like, you know, all hell breaks loose with the feminists. So I'm in between.
You're in between. Yeah, this is a huge problem for feminism, because even though it's an ideology that has always been pushed by the radicals and the extremists on the fringe, it has relied upon the support of regular women in the middle to have any cultural legitimacy. If they lose the normal women in the center, they lose their source of power. And it makes you wonder, how did we get to this point? Like, feminism was at such an advantage. How did they blow it? Even 10 years ago, they had absolutely uncontested supremacy. But now we can legitimately envisage a future where it's just a relic of the past. And it's fascinating to think about, how did this happen? How did they get to the point where they could lose everything? Of course, I'd like to believe a channel like mine has moved the needle just ever so slightly. We all do our part. But honestly, feminism itself just kind of blew it. You know, they were at this huge advantage. They were in the lead, they were winning, and it was at that point that they decided to do the dumbest, stupidest, most possible decisions strategically that they could. If feminism is defeated, it's entirely their own fault. What am I talking about? Well, I want to take you back to 2017, back when I first started my channel, because it's worthwhile reflecting on how far we have come. Because just 9 years ago, if you said things like biological sex is real, there is a difference between the two genders, that would instantly get you labeled as a sexist. If you said that men were also victims of violence and abuse, you would be accused of minimizing the suffering that women went through. It was a time of walking on eggshells, because the feminist narrative, their power was just so absolute. Do you remember this guy? This is Jordan Peterson. He's the guy who told us to clean our rooms. If you were paying attention back then, you won't believe the vitriol that they hurled at him. They called him far-right, evil, Nazi, king of the incels. There was seemingly no limit to how awful he was. And given the amount of toxicity that was directed towards him, you would think that he must be saying really outrageous, like hateful, sexist things against women. By the standards of today, when you look back at those interviews, it is absolutely incredible how tame and measured his statements are.
Credible evidence that there are biologically mediated differences between men and women at the level of temperament and interest that are actually large and profound. And I would say the science on that is sufficiently settled so that someone can come out and say that's scientifically credible.